What's going about it so far? It's a deck here. Man, when it rains, it pours. I'm going to entitle this PSA, a new type of naval warfare. In case you're just waking up or whatever, and you're just getting brought up to speed about what's going on. There was a major oil spill at the bottom of the Red Sea. And if you'll look at this map here down at the bottom right, somewhere in that area, and it's estimated that this oil spill is about 10 times worse than that Valdez BP oil spill some years back. That's not good. That's not good at all. Okay? And it was done on purpose. And we're going to go into some precepts in the prophecies, try to piece this together and see if this is playing into what has been written thousands of years ago. Okay? All right, let's go over to my notepad, and then when I'm done, we're going to come back over to this map. Let's start off with Job chapter 5, verse 12. He, the Most High, disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Well, in case you've been living under a rock all your life, the number one enterprise in this 3D realm for making profit is crude oil. The whole world has become codependent on crude oil. And no, gasoline is not the only product from crude oil. When they crack this stuff in these cracking towers, they get all types of ingredients out of it. Ingredients for food, plastics, medicines, what have you. Okay? So the world's economy is codependent on crude oil. Well, it's suspected that the Houthis down in Yemen pulled this off. And it has created quite a mess in that part of the world. And so moving forward, you might want to keep your eyes on the price of crude oil. I mean, I'm just saying, because this situation is not going to get any better anytime soon. These Houthis and Hamas and Hezbollah are having to literally create new types of warfare to combat Babylon, Europe, and everybody else. All right, let's look at Revelation 15:2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire. I've highlighted the word sea and mingled with fire. I want you to imagine for a moment that mess that's out there somehow getting caught on fire. Imagine that. Let's move forward. I'm not going to keep y'all long on this. We're going to go to Revelation chapter 8, verses 8 through 11. And the second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. Now, this great mountain burning with fire is some type of meteorite or asteroid or whatever you want to call it. And the world governments have always known that this is a probability and it's going to happen. They already know that. But I've always estimated that this would happen a lot closer to home than over here. But just imagine if a meteorite were to hit out there in the sea with all that crude oil out there. Just imagine that. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. Well, like I said, a new type of naval warfare, because any ships out there, in the event that a major fire break out, yeah, they would be destroyed, as well as all the sea life in that part of the world. I mean, that goes without saying. Verse 10, and the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. This is Revelation chapter 8, verses 8 through 11. Now, this star and wormwood in the Old Testament always referred to like some sort of poisonous contamination. Now, imagine if a ballistic missile or even a nuclear missile were launched and hit that oil over there and set that crap on fire. Now you have nuclear contamination mixed with crude oil burning. Not necessarily a good mix. And then all this crap flowing back into the rivers and tributaries and all that. Now you put all that together, yeah, a whole lot of people would die. Probably more than a third part of men would die. That would definitely be a catastrophe. And so ask yourselves this question. Are these Houthis, these Iranian-backed proxy groups, are they crazy enough to do something like that? Absolutely. Because they're tired of Babylon, America, and Europe, and these other people coming over there to that part of the world. They're sick of it. So they like, hey, the only way we're going to keep these people from keep coming over here is to take away their motivation for coming over here, even at a great inconvenience to ourselves. We'll take the lesser of two evils. We'll do that and get rid of them, and then we'll just deal with the aftermath. That's just how tired they are of this part of the world being bombarded by people that really don't need to be over there. All right, let's move along. Let's look at Ezekiel chapter 32, verses 14 through 15. Then will I make their waters deep and cause their rivers to run like oil, saith the Lord God. See, that's who's behind all this. This is judgment. I keep telling y'all, this is the year of karma. Everybody's going to pay, from presidents, CEOs of corporations, down to the non-essential peons. Everybody's going to pay according to prophecy as it is written, whether you like it or not. And if you want to feel a certain type of way about that, then direct all that energy towards your Christian pastors that never teach this stuff, because they're too busy teaching you about their prosperity plan and other things that don't matter. Verse 15, when I shall shake the land of Egypt, or when I shall make the land of Egypt desolate, and the country shall be destitute of whereof it was full, when I shall smite all them that dwell therein, then shall they know that I am the Lord, not Satan, not the world elites and the people that run and own these oil tankers and none of that. The Most High created this realm and he runs it. Satan works for him. So all this is targeting Egypt for a reason. All right. And last precept, and I'm going to go back to the map. And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea. See, that's what that Red Sea was called back then. If you get ancient maps, you will see that. It wasn't called the Red Sea. It was called the Egyptian Sea. The Red Sea was actually called the Reed Sea, is that little portion on the other side of what's known as the Sinai Peninsula. That's where the children of Israel actually crossed over into Saudi Arabia. Not where they're telling you. Well, he said he's going to destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and shall smite it in 7 streams and make men go over dry shod. Okay, let's go back to the map. What part, look at this map closely. What part of this map resembles a tongue somewhere near Egypt? Well, if you look where the red circle is, it's a dead giveaway. What they call the Sinai Peninsula. Well, guess what? Now you got this major oil spill down there where the star is. What's to stop Hamas or the Houthis or whoever from doing the same thing in the Suez Canal, which is how they get from the Mediterranean Sea down into what they call the Red Sea? When I was in the Navy, I've been through that twice. It took us almost 24 hours to get through that, and I was on a pretty big ship. And just remember, several years back, a ship did get lodged into that Suez Canal, and everybody was all in an uproar about oil prices going up and how this was going to affect, commerce and trade and all this and all that. Imagine a major oil spill just as bad, if not worse, up there combined with the one down there. Man, you've pretty much cut that part of the world in half. And this will definitely have an effect on Egypt. That oil and all that, whatever else, will backflow over into that Nile River. And it's a wrap, because they depend on that river to live. I know, I've been to Egypt when I was in the Navy. I've been to Cairo and Hurghada and Safaga, which is a little further south. That's it for Egypt right there. The Most High is literally reconstructing the physical terrain features of this part of the world, and he's doing it for a reason. And yes, this is the beginning, whether you want to believe it or not. This is just the beginning, because that mess out there ain't going to get cleaned up no time soon, and it may never get cleaned up, not by the hands of man, because like I just showed you, they set that crap on fire, it's a wrap. Okay? And they did say that a missile hit that ship and set it ablaze. Don't think these people don't have more missiles. Y'all got to quit believing all this rhetoric and false narratives that have been spun in the lamestream media. You go to your prophecies and read that, and then it'll give you a pretty good idea of what's going on, where and why, and who is ultimately behind it. All right, that's your PSA.